Rhymey Robot Whimsical Bouquets. It's a blustery, cloudy day in the realm of the gods, and Rhymey Robot, the quirky florist, is busy creating 15 whimsical bouquets for the gods and their eccentric friends. With a mischievous glint in his eyes, Rhymey carefully selects the most unusual blooms and foliage, blending them into delightfully unexpected arrangements. This one is for Hera's enchanting daydream, he muses, adding a sprig of iridescent lavender daisy hybrid in a cluster of fluffy, pastel-hued cotton balls. And for the card, how about drift off to blissful reverie, where clouds of cotton softly sway. Rhymey chuckles, scribbling the rhyme on a delicate card. Next, he turns his attention to a bouquet of towering, purple-tipped sunflowers and spiky, neon green cacti. Ah, yes, this is perfect for Dionysus' tall hair day. He ties the card to the arrangement, the words dancing across the page, reach for the stars, let your hair stand tall, for a day of funky styles, big and small. As Rhymey continues crafting his creations, the air is filled with the patter of rain and the occasional shower of jelly beans, mini plushies, and glittering confetti. The weather is certainly cooperating today, he remarks, chuckling as he carefully selects a bouquet of vibrant, heart-shaped blooms and trailing vines. This one is for Hestia's tea in a treehouse. Let's see. Sip your tea, high above the ground, where whimsical blooms and vines abound. Rhymey nods in satisfaction, then turns his attention to a bouquet of delicate, pastel-hued flowers and wispy, gossamer-like leaves. Ah, yes, Demeter will love this for her moment of a bright idea. When inspiration strikes, let your mind soar, as these airy blooms flutter and pour. He ties the card to the arrangement, then moves on to the next. As Rhymey works, the gods and their friends begin to gather, drawn by the promise of his unique creations. Hermes arrives first, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. Rhymey, my friend. What delightful surprises do you have in store for us today? He asks, eyeing the bouquets with a mischievous grin. Ah, Hermes, just the god I was hoping to see. Rhymey exclaims, gesturing to a bouquet of vibrant, neon-hued flowers and cascading vines. This one is for you, for you're receiving a surprise box. When a gift appears, unexpected and new, let your heart be filled with wonder, too. Hermes chuckles, taking the bouquet and giving it an appreciative sniff. Wonderful, as always, Rhymey. I can't wait to see what else you've created. Just then, Artemis and Apollo arrive, their laughter echoing through the misty air. Rhymey, my dear friend. Artemis exclaims, her eyes sparkling. I hear you have a special bouquet for our bum costume ball. Rhymey grins and presents a bouquet of whimsical, mismatched blooms and foliage. Indeed I do, my dear Artemis. For a night of silly disguise, let these flowers catch everyone's eyes. Apollo chuckles, taking the bouquet and giving it an admiring look. Excellent work, as always, Rhymey. I can't wait to see what other surprises you have in store. As the gods and their friends continue to arrive, Rhymey happily presents each of them with a unique bouquet, each one more delightful and unexpected than the last. For Poseidon's finding a music box store, he creates a bouquet of seashell-like blooms and cascading, watery foliage, accompanied by the rhyme, where melodies drift, like waves on the sea, let this bouquet song set your spirit free. For Athena's thinking up a fun new list, he crafts a bouquet of playful, geometric patterned flowers and leaves, with the card reading, when inspiration strikes, let your mind take flight, as you dream up new lists, both silly and bright. Hephaestus receives a bouquet of fiery, metallic-hued blooms and spiky, industrial-looking foliage for his moment of a bright idea, with the rhyme, when the spark of genius ignites your mind, let these blazing flowers your path unwind. Hades and Persephone are delighted by their bouquet for recalling something funny, a whimsical arrangement of dark, moody blooms and trailing vines, accompanied by the words, when laughter echoes from the past, let these flowers charm make the moment last. As the gods and their friends admire the bouquets, they can't help but be enchanted by Rhymey's creativity and the playful, rhyming messages he has crafted for each one. Rhymey, you've outdone yourself once again. Exclaims Hestia, her eyes sparkling with delight. These are simply marvelous. Demeter nods in agreement, her fingers gently caressing the delicate, pastel-hued flowers. These are the most enchanting arrangements I've ever seen. I can't wait to display this in my treehouse and let the inspiration flow. Suddenly, a loud commotion erupts as bossy topiary clown, posy crossdresser strawman, and smirky finicky panda arrive, bickering and jostling one another. Out of my way, you bumbling fools. Bossy topiary clown shouts, his voice booming across the misty clearing. I must be the first to choose my bouquet. Posy crossdresser strawman huffs indignantly, his floral pattern dress swishing as he tries to push past the clown. Now, bossy, there's no need to be so rude. We all deserve a chance. Smirky Finicky Panda, with his arms crossed and a smug expression, simply shakes his head. You two are making an absolute spectacle of yourselves. Rhymey chuckles, unfazed by the commotion. Ah, my dear friends, there's no need to fight. I have a bouquet for each of you, carefully chosen to suit your unique personalities. He presents Bossy Topiary Clown with a bouquet of vibrant, geometric pattern blooms and spiky, architectural foliage. For your finding something nice that was lost, Bossy, I've created this arrangement. When a treasured item comes back to you, let these blooms' bold hues bring joy anew. Bossy Topiary Clown's eyes widen, and he snatches the bouquet, holding it close to his chest. Humph, well, I suppose it will do. It's not as magnificent as I had hoped, but I'll accept it. Rhymey turns to Posy Crossdresser Strawman, presenting him with a bouquet of delicate, floral patterned blooms and wispy, gossamer-like foliage. And for your getting a surprise gift, Posy, I've chosen these enchanting flowers. When a gift unexpected appears, let these blooms fill you with joyful cheers. Posy Crossdresser Strawman beams, his eyes sparkling with delight as he gently takes the bouquet. Oh, Rhymey, it's simply divine. I shall treasure it always. Finally, Rhymey turns to Smirky Finicky Panda, handing him a bouquet of soft, pastel-hued blooms and fluffy, cloud-like foliage. And for you, Smirky, a bouquet for your listing fun lists. As you dream up new ways to spark delight, let these blooms inspire your mind to take flight. Smirky Finicky Panda nods in approval. Well, I must say, Rhymey, you've captured my essence quite well. I'm impressed. As the trio of friends admire their bouquets, the rest of the gods and their companions gather around, eager to see what Rhymey has in store for them. Chatty Quantum Professor approaches, his eyes twinkling with curiosity. Rhymey, my friend, I hear you have a special bouquet for my going to a new dimension. Rhymey nods, presenting the professor with a bouquet of vibrant, kaleidoscopic blooms and foliage that seem to shift and shimmer in the misty air. Indeed, Chatty, I've created this for you. As you venture to realms beyond the known, let these blooms' dazzling hues be your guide, and your own. Chatty Quantum Professor's eyes widen in delight as he takes the bouquet, his fingers tracing the intricate patterns. Marvelous, simply marvelous. You've truly outdone yourself, Rhymey. Next, whiny Rhymey Tumbleweed approaches, his voice tinged with a hint of whining. Rhymey, darling, I do hope you have something special for my napping on a swing bed. Rhymey chuckles and presents the tumbleweed with a bouquet of soft, cloud-like blooms and trailing, wispy vines. But of course, my dear Whiny. As you drift off to blissful rest, let these airy blooms soothe your weary chest. Whiny Rhymey Tumbleweed sighs dramatically, taking the bouquet and holding it close. Oh, Rhymey, you understand me so well. This is simply divine. As the gods and their friends continue to admire and receive their bouquets, the air is filled with laughter, chatter, and the occasional shower of mini muffins or autumn leaves. Sassy Satan, the drag queen devil, saunters up to Rhymey, a mischievous glint in her eyes. Darling Rhymey, I must say, these bouquets are simply to die for. And I hear you have a special one for my chatting with pesky puppets. Rhymey grins and presents her with a bouquet of dark, moody blooms and sinister-looking foliage. Indeed, my dear Sassy. When the puppet's chatter fills the air, let these blooms allure be your only care. Sassy Satan lets out a delighted cackle, taking the bouquet and giving it an appreciative sniff. Ooh, Rhymey, you've outdone yourself. This is simply divine. As the gods and their friends continue to admire and receive their bouquets, the air is filled with the sound of laughter, chatter, and the occasional shower of glitter or mini plushies. Suddenly, a commotion erupts as Naggy Gnome and Clingy Cloud clusters arrive, bickering and squabbling. Get out of my way, you fluffy nuisance. Naggy Gnome shouts, his voice shrill and grating. Clingy Cloud clusters, their wispy forms trailing behind them, let out a frustrated sigh. Now, Naggy, there's no need to be so rude. We're all here to enjoy Rhymey's wonderful creations. Rhymey chuckles, unfazed by the commotion. Ah, my dear friends, there's no need to fight. I have a bouquet for each of you, specially chosen to suit your unique personalities. He presents Naggy Gnome with a bouquet of spiky, thistly blooms and prickly, angular foliage. For your bum costume ball, Naggy, I've created this arrangement. When the night of disguise is in full swing, let these blooms' sharp edges give your costume a sting. Naggy Gnome snatches the bouquet, his beady eyes narrowing. Humph, I suppose it will do. At least it matches my prickly disposition. Rhymey then turns to clingy cloud clusters, handing them a bouquet of soft, fluffy blooms and wispy, cloud-like foliage. And for your moment of a bright idea, my dear Clingy, I've chosen these enchanting flowers. As inspiration strikes, let these blooms' airy grace lift your mind to a brighter place. Clingy cloud clusters let out a delighted sigh, their wispy forms enveloping the bouquet. Oh, Rhymey, it's simply divine. Suddenly, a booming voice echoes across the clearing, and the trickster god appears, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Rhymey, my dear friend, I hear you have a special bouquet for my tall hair day, he says, his towering figure casting a long shadow over the crowd. Rhymey grins and presents the trickster god with a bouquet of tall, spiky blooms and whimsical, gravity-defying foliage. Indeed I do, my dear friend. As your hair reaches for the sky, let these blooms' bold hues catch every eye. The trickster god lets out a delighted laugh, his fingers tracing the intricate patterns of the flowers. Magnificent, Rhymey, simply magnificent. I shall display this with pride. Finally, Rhymey presents the last bouquet to Hades and Persephone, a dark and moody arrangement of blooms and foliage that seem to shimmer with a mysterious, otherworldly energy. For your receiving a surprise box, my dear friends, I've created this bouquet. When a gift from the depths of the unknown appears, let these blooms' enchanting allure calm your fears. Hades and Persephone exchange a knowing glance, their eyes sparkling with delight. Rhymey, you've outdone yourself once again, Persephone says, her voice soft and melodic. This is truly a work of art. Hades nods in agreement, a rare smile gracing his features. Indeed, my dear Rhymey. You've captured the essence of our realm perfectly. We shall cherish this bouquet always.